Thank you, Uday, and good evening to all of you. Let me begin by also adding my word of congratulations to Rakesh Kakkar, who has taken over as director of the India Habitats Center today. He and I have been working together over the last several months over a number of interesting subjects, including energy security, and I'm very happy to have the opportunity to continue working with him in this new capacity. Uday said that those of you who want to leave early should position yourself strategically. I think if everyone followed your advice, we would have a rush for the margins. But I hope that eventuality will not arise, except for a few of you. I would also like to recognize Mr. Basu is not here. Is he? Mr. Tarun Basu, President of the Society for Policy Studies. And I would like to thank Uday Bhaskar and, of course, the India Habitat Center for organizing this inaugural lecture under the Changing Asia series. It is a very good initiative, and I certainly feel very honored to be asked to make the inaugural address. As Uday has said, we need to have a forum for an informed and focused dialogue on India's national security and foreign policy challenges in what is really a very constantly mutating regional and global environment. It is only through such continual analysis and debate that one may be able to spot the opportunities that lie embedded in these changes to advance India's national interests. Let me begin with her perspective on the current geopolitical landscape. As is frequently the case, the present often finds an echo in the past. In the 19th century, the legendary German Chancellor Otto von Bismarck had this to say about the political turmoil in Europe at that time. Quote, "We live in a wondrous time in which the strong is weak because of his scruples and the weak grows strong because of his audacity." Unquote. Perhaps the scruple part may be a little not so accurate these days, but I think that in a sense reflects the kind of situation that we see unfolding before our eyes. We are really confronted by a geopolitical landscape across the world, which is marked by multiple crises, both political and economic, both old and new, with few visible prospects for early, in fact sometimes any resolution. The powerful often appear like Jonathan Swift's Gulliver, harried into immobility by audacious Lilliputians with their own tactics of shock and awe. It has been apparent for some time, but particularly since the horrendous 9/11 terrorist outrage against the United States in 2001 and the subsequent global financial and economic crisis of 2007-2008, that the post-Second World War international order created and dominated by the US and its Western allies was steadily and relentlessly being dismantled. This was partly the result of political and economic power being diffused away from its transatlantic moorings to newer centers of power and influence, particularly in Asia. It has also been the case that the upholders of the established order have themselves been guilty of expedient and selective observance of its rules as their relative dominance has diminished. We must also take account of the emergence of new technological domains of cyber and space, which pervade all aspects of contemporary life.